Hello, 8th grade. This is Miss Wicker creating a quick video for you to help you be successful on our first Math Focus Day. So the purpose of these sessions is to build your test stamina, maybe to ask you to work for a little longer than what you're used to, and to begin reviewing concepts to prepare for you to show growth on our EOG. What do we need from you? Well, we need your effort. Heads up and pencils moving, raising your hand for help or for a check-in. The more effort you put into this, the more ready you're going to be for the EOG. So I encourage you to give it your best. I'm going to start off our packet by doing questions 1 and 2 together. So take a look at 1. It says, which number is irrational? I always think about that word irrational as something crazy. They say you're acting irrational, means you're acting kind of crazy, right? So crazy in math would mean like a decimal that has no patterns, no repeats, cannot be written as a ratio. So decimal with no patterns, repeats, etc. So take a look at the choices. There's something that should jump out at you right away as being irrational, but let's make sure that we can eliminate some other choices first. So letter B is a ratio. So that one would definitely be rational. So that one's out. C is a repeating decimal in a pattern, 212121, ... So that one has a pattern. And D is a terminating decimal, right? It stops, does not have any bars or repeats. So that one could be written as a rational ratio. So that one is definitely rational. So what that leaves us with is A, right? Pi should be sticking out at you as automatically irrational. We know that we approximate pi as 3.14, but technically it is an irrational number that continues with no repeats or patterns. So even though this looks like a ratio, it's a fraction, that pi times the 2 divided by 3 would create an irrational number. All right, question number 2. A restaurant hostess is paid $50 plus 10% of the wait staff's tips for each night she works. If Y represents her pay for the night and X represents the wait staff's tips, which equation models this relationship? All right, let's put a box around this part because we know that's the probably most important part. $50, we know that we're talking about setting up like a Y equals MX plus B relationship. The $50 plus could be written first or at the end, right? That's our Y-intercept. Plus 10% of the wait staff's tips, which we know that 10% is the same as 0.1 or 0.10. And of X, so timesing by X, that's going to be like our slope, right? So 0.1X, 0.1X would be like our slope. Now, I'm kind of talking through this without looking at the choices too much because I'm thinking about it without the choices. That helps you to determine which one might match at the end. So if you take a look at your choices, see if you see which one would match. Okay, if you were thinking C, you were on the right track. Got our y-intercept and our slope. Okay, go and pause the video here. You're going to work for about 20 minutes or so, and then we'll check in with each other for question 8. All right, here's question number 8. figure ABCDEF is transformed into similar figure ABCDEF prime. In the transform figure, side EF is horizontal and has a length of 1 unit. Which pair of transformations could have been used to transform ABCDEF to ABCDEF prime? Okay, well, I'm going to start with focusing on how that EF is now 1 unit. So if it originally was 2 units and now it's only 1 unit, we know that that automatically means it must have been dilated. Remember, dilation means it either got bigger or smaller based on a scale factor. So since we know that it was reduced, we know that it must have been dilated. Now, going back to the first part, though, it said that EF prime is horizontal. So right now you can see that it's vertical. So wherever it ended up, we'll just put it maybe over here. Okay, it must have been moved from from vertical to horizontal by, what would be the name of that transformation? Okay, that would have to be a rotation. A rotation would take the figure, right, and rotate it to change the orientation of the line. So that means if it was moved, we don't know which way it was moved, it could be any direction, but that means it must have gone through those 2 transformations. So dilation and rotation. All right, keep working hard. We'll check in at the end to see how well you did on at least these first 15 questions. So keep giving it your best.